Hey everybody, it's Captain Kyle and I'm here with not one, not two, but three model kits. Well, you can probably count two. They are from Yolopark. You only live once. And they are officially licensed model kits through Hasbro of Optimus Primal, Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee. And I'm going to show you these guys and, do they transform? Well, apparently they transform from a bunch of parts into robots. So, though you don't really want to transform them back. But we'll go through them one by one, do a little speed build, and see if they're cool for your collection. Be right back. All right, so let's start with the leader of the Autobots. And as you can see on the box there, it's a very nice box. There's Optimus Prime in his movie form. The back of the box shows the instructions, which doesn't look like there's that many pieces, so even I should be able to put these together. But yeah, nice box. I don't know if this is plastic-free packaging, but there's definitely plastic in here. Let's break this sucker open. Now, full disclosure, I received these at no cost from Yolopark themselves so that I could review them. However, despite the fact that I received them for free, I'm definitely gonna go through and give a full, honest review. There he is in his plastic prison. So again, this is not plastic-free packaging. And of course, there will be a link in the description if you would like to get these wonderful model kits, which have these weird plastic pieces holding it together in an odd spot. So that's the first thing I'll say, is you need to pop these out right here, or we can go to the bottom. I have to say, it's an interesting packaging method, but there appears to only be two, so it appears to be opening, unless I missed some. Oh wait, there's a couple at the top, but I forced them through. So apparently forcing it open like that is not the best idea. I will learn with the other boxes. And I think I heard something fly over there, so I'm gonna take a quick look. But tip number one with this set is not to lift off the plastic cover until you have located and taken out all the little plastic things that hold it in place. Otherwise, the laws of physics might send things flying. But all right, there he goes. It also has instructions here. So let's go ahead and build this. Let's roll some fun music and get started. So there he is, the completed Optimus Prime model kit. I have leftover parts, but they're additional fists if you want to put his hands in different configurations. Let's check this out as I would any other Transformer toy. Now, he's definitely not doing any splits. That is not the way he works, but the legs do move back and forth, so you got posability there, it bends at the knee. You do have some swivel because of the way it's constructed. Kind of twists at the waist, but some of these parts kind of get in the way, so not necessarily. It's just a little bit of a twist. The arms can go all the way around, bend at the elbow. It even has a swivel, so that's kind of neat. The head is on a ball joint. It's a little stiff. I popped it in there and it's nice and stiff. And it even has a little neck that moves back and forth. Now, unfortunately, he's got a trigger hand, but it doesn't appear that there's any kind of gun. No gun. So I would say that that's a shame, because, he's got the ability. So maybe I'll just take off this hand, which pops off. You got to be careful of the smokestacks, because they will pop off pretty easily, but they're very easy to put back on. I think we'll give him the two-finger salute hand, and it pops right on. If you're familiar with a lot of the changeable, maneuverable, different types of hands with third parties and some Hasbro stuff, this is pretty par for the course. Can't quite do a salute, but he could do Scout's Honor. Now, there's a model kit. It pops together and you can pop it apart, so it's not really meant for rough playability, I would imagine. Still, he's a very cool representation of Optimus Prime. He actually has some swivels where he can move his shoulders back and forth, which is kind of neat. A lot of detail, a lot of articulation. I don't have to paint it, which I'm glad of, because I would not know how to paint this without making him look really dumb. I am Optimus Prime. He even can do a little bit of a wiggle. He's got a joint here. So again, you can move him into a number of different poses. Optimus stands just over 8.5 inches tall, almost 8 3/4. It's a pretty cool looking Optimus Prime. Yes, he will be going into my Optimus Prime case with pride, and a little extra pride because I put him together. I mean, the instructions were there. And of course, the extra fists will have to go into one of my accessory cases. We'll just put it over there for now. All right, one down. Who to go? Let's go with Bumblebee. So there's Bumblebee. Very nice package. It actually says Bumblebee. So again, nice looking. It shows kind of the instructions on the back, though it's a little bit more detailed with the sheet inside. But yeah, a neat looking Bumblebee. Now, I have made it clear that I'm not a big fan of the Michael Bay stuff, but from what I understand, he is not really part of Rise of the Beast. And I mean, Bumblebee to me will always be a Volkswagen, but I kind of like the Camaro. It's kind of a neat thing. I do like an Earthspark, how he's now a sports car. All right, let's get rid of these plastic things. So I think there were like 6 in the last one. Let's try flipping it over. Maybe it'll be easier to spot them. And I might use a different tool. There's 1, there's 2. Are there more of you? I'm actually not seeing any more. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna gingerly try to open this and see if there is resistance. And there is. I can spot now. It kind of blended here. So yes, just getting the toy out is a little bit of a challenge. I mean, it's good because if you went and you bought this in a store, which is an option, though buying it online is kind of a safer way to go because you don't have to worry about it having been as exposed to as many people and people, you know, messing with it. But if it was in a store and someone just tried to take it out of the package, it would be not easy for them to get at the parts and lose something. So, all right, let's see if that did it. Looks like there is one right in the middle. So this one has 5. Adventures in Unpackaging. I just want to let you know, because this is a sponsored video, I may not fucking swear as much, or I may. There we go, nice, smooth. That one had 5, make a note of that. If you get this guy, you want to make sure that you take it out properly. All right, so we have the chest. Now you can see the way the parts are arranged. They're actually arranged so that you know which is the right arm, which is the left arm, right leg, left leg, all that. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, if you're one of those who likes super complex models, this is not super complex. It's complex enough that it's kind of fun to do, so it's not too bad, but all right. Let's speed this up and put it together. And there is Bumblebee. And again, extra pieces, but they're all different hands. This time I went with his like grasping hand and his fist. Now, interestingly enough, you can knock pieces off the hands, but they, again, go right back on, so that's a nice thing. But he only has 4 fingers, or 3 fingers and a thumb, if you really want to be technical. Let's check him out. Now, unlike Optimus, the way he attaches, he can pretty much do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. And he does bend at the knee. This piece kind of shifts with the knee, which is kind of neat, and it's good for kneeing people in the groin. It does somewhat swivel, and the feet can swivel. So he kind of has a bit of ankle rockers. Twisting at the waist, he can pretty much go all the way around, so that's nice. He's got a little bit of a joint here in his chest, so you can kind of adjust his stance a little bit there. His arms, even with the wheels in the back, go all the way around because there's a little shift thing for his shoulder. So he bends at the elbow. Let's see, does he? I don't want to obviously force it. Well, his hands kind of swivel, the forearms swivel a bit. It does not appear that the shoulders swivel. So he can go out like that. His head, of course, can turn. Good amount of posability and a lot of subtle, again, poses that you can adjust his chest a bit more. Things that you can't really get in a transforming toy very easily. It just makes the engineering way too complicated, I think. But yeah, a good Bumblebee. Here's his back view. I never showed here's Optimus' back view, so they don't look too kibbly. Of course, they don't actually transform other than back into a pile of parts. But yeah, it feels good. It's a cool looking robot. You can put him in all kinds of poses. He will go into my Bumblebee case. Yes, I have a Bumblebee case. I don't have an Optimus Primal case. But let's see what kind of poses we can put him in. I mean, that's a pretty cool Bumblebee pose. Saying, come here, I'm gonna hit you right in the face, son of a bitch. Or he's using radio. I'm not sure what they're gonna be doing with Bumblebee in the new movie. Can he talk? Can he not talk? What's up with that? He's got movable wheels. All the wheels turn. So you could imagine him transforming. I mean, yes, you might consider these kind of like the Transformers Red stuff because they don't transform. And those are pretty detailed. You might consider them oversized Action Masters, but I think they're pretty neat. They celebrate the character. Unfortunately, you know, they can't transform, but there's plenty of transforming Optimus Primes. I just took the leg off. One thing, if you're simulating a battle scene, you can have his like arm having been like removed during battle. My hand, damn it. I'll just turn off those pain receptors. Bumblebee, from the tips of his windows to his feet, is about 7.5 inches tall. So a little shorter than Optimus. Again, another neat toy. You can hang out over here with Optimus and your extra hands. And we're gonna get rid of these little plastic shits. I mean, the plastic-free packaging can kind of be a pain, but I don't miss all those little things all over the table. And finally, Optimus Primal. Yes, he should have been voiced by Gary Chalk. I 100% agree with that. I have nothing against Ron Perlman. He made an excellent Hellboy. He's been in all kinds of films, and I think he's a great actor. And I'm sure he'll do a fine job as Optimus Primal. But to me, Optimus Primal will always be Gary Chalk. I'm not saying I won't enjoy the movie. It just would have been slightly more enjoyable if they had the original Optimus Primal voice. I mean, they have the original Optimus Prime voice. All right, here he is in his plastic. And not a very difficult assembly. I think it's actually more difficult to find these little plastic holders. That one wasn't too bad. And remove them so that you can actually take the stuff out and start putting them together. Optimus Primal seems to be a little easier to yank those out. Don't even have to use a knife. There have been 4 so far. Is that it? Oh, I think I see one more down here. So 5 to 6 of these things you gotta find before you can smoothly open it. But there he is, looks very interesting. Not as colorful as the others, but you know, he changes into an ape. I still think he could have been better if they were a little closer to the Beast Wars incarnation, especially the voice. But all right, let's go ahead, take the chest out, and we'll start the assembly. So there he is, Optimus Primal. Pretty cool looking figure again. The dull colors don't thrill me. He also has a monkey butt, which, you know, is all good. The weapon is the only one that comes with the weapon. Mostly stays together, but you kind of have to assemble it in his hand for him to hold it. So, but it's a pretty neat looking double-bladed weapon, very reminiscent of his swords. Or you could potentially maybe put a sword in each hand. Be very original Beast Wars about it. All right, so articulation. He's got an ankle swivel. What's interesting is he's got these like toe things. We're gonna put the weapon aside for now. He's got these toe things that just kind of maneuver on the side of his feet, which is kind of neat. That's some nice detail there. Bends at the knee. He actually, I gotta double check Optimus Prime because it's not fair that he's the only one who can't do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. So it could be me. I just didn't want to force it, so we'll check it out. But he can do that. Bends at the knee. The leg can come off, but it goes right back on. Again, I think these are more display pieces. Gentle play. I don't think they're meant to be roughly used, but he's got some neat detailing inside, showing like gears underneath the fur. But the legs go back and forth. This actually does swivel at the top. That's where it goes into the main joint there. So that's pretty neat. Twisting at the waist. His monkey butt kind of interferes with it going all the way around, but he can pretty much turn to the side, either side pretty easily. The arms can go all the way around. Bends at the elbow. Pretty nice bend there. Is there a swivel? Yes, there is a swivel in the shoulder. And he's got that same kind of little joint where he can move his shoulders back and forth, so that's kind of neat. And again, he's got the joint in here in his chest so he can move around and do crunches and keep in shape for when he's got to face off against Terrorcons or Predacons or whoever they're facing off against. Oh, by the way, all the hands turn because they plug in. The head does turn, though he's got this like hunchback thing, so it's kind of interferes a little bit. Now I'm gonna pop his head off, and I'll tell you why. I found in here another face. It's an itty bitty face. Maybe you can see it. Maybe it's in focus. Anyway, it is more reminiscent of the original Optimus Primal. So let's see if I can maneuver this one out. It may require some disassembly. All right, I popped it out and his eyes came out too. So apparently he's got this piece that goes in here and there's an identical one in the other head. So I'm just popping it back in place and I'm gonna put it over there for now. And now let's put in his more original Optimus Primal face here. Takes a little bit of wiggling. The difficulty I'm having is probably more due to my ineptitude than anything wrong with this particular thing. I'm not saying this kit is perfect. I mean, it seems pretty cool to me, but there we go. We got his face in place. I'm gonna pop his head back on. Now, the interesting thing with some of popping it on, since these ball joints move and have like joints, and this one does too, you kind of gotta like line it up and be careful. Otherwise it slips out of place. I used this piece to kind of maneuver one of them around on Bumblebee's legs. So, I mean, mainly you don't need tools, but this was helpful for me to get it into a position where it was easier to insert the foot. But all right, he turns around, arms do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty posable figure. There again is his back with his monkey butt. I like him. Again, he comes with extra hands. He comes with more right hands than left hands. I guess they're all left, you know, there's nobody who's a lefty in the Rise of the Beast universe, but there's the extra hands. So they all come with like 4 extra hands, more rights again than left. Optimus Primal's the only one who comes with a weapon and an extra face. And yeah, the weapon, it goes together very easily, but I think it's also falls apart. It's a very small pin combination, and it fits together well. And it's actually perfectly balanced for throwing. You can put your eye out. Don't do that. But if you want to put it in his hand, you kind of got to slide it through, and then you can attach it here. And if you want to, you can push it up so he's holding it by the joint. So it's a pretty badass looking weapon, to be honest. But you could also put the other fist on here, and it goes through enough so that it could be his original Optimus Primal swords. So Optimus Primal stands about 8.5 inches tall, just about as tall as Prime. Just a quick side by side. Yeah, Prime might have maybe a 1/4 inch on him. So I'm liking it. They're very posable. I mean, the downside is they don't transform, but I mean, they're model kits. If you're into putting things together, assembling stuff, these may very well be for you. I'm looking forward to future releases so that I can review them for you. But excellent models, excellent figures. It's even got the little Maximal symbol on his chest. Cool. You know, so yes, they're not going to transform, but great representations of the characters. And again, let me just check Optimus here. Was I too quick in determining? No, it looks like Optimus cannot do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. He can kick pretty high though. Oh, I'm gonna kick your monkey butt. Truck, not monkey. Yeah, we've heard that debate before, guys. There are 2 distinct characters. It's all good. So, there is a link in the description to get these guys. I think they're a little over 30, between 30 and 35, but at the time of this taping, they haven't sent me the official link to use. So I don't know the exact price, but that is the range that I've seen them online. And I think I would recommend them for just cool figures. You could always have an Optimus Prime in cab mode, so you could pretend to transform him. That's faster than a flip changer, or one of those new flip changers. I like the old flip changers, but there you go. And while you're mulling over these incredible models and figures, and again, thank you to Yolopark for sending me these. Much appreciated, and they will go into a place of honor. But while you're mulling these over, you can check out this one over here, which is actually a Brickhead's Optimus Prime style thing. It's kind of neat. And of course, like, share, subscribe. Super thanks would be wonderful. We will see you next time. As always, have fun. Good hunting.